Hey guys, I'm Mark with the Oval RC. I recently bought an RC drift car. It's the MST RMX 2.0 RTR. Stands for ready to run. Today I'm going to do an unboxing video of it, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Let's get started. There's a couple things you will need that does not come with the car. You'll need 4 AA batteries for the transmitter. You'll need a lipo battery, and I'm using the 5200 50C 7.4 volt, and on the end of that has a Dean's connector, and that's important because the car will also have a Dean's connector on it. Then I'm using the Venom Pro Duo Dual Charger. This will charge 2 batteries at one time, and I use this for my other RC cars. Before we open up the box, we'll check out the graphics on the box. We can see a picture of the chassis on the top of the box. On the side of the box, there's another picture of the chassis. And alongside that, it shows you what also comes with the car: a transmitter, a brushless motor, your electronics, a gyro, and tires. On the other side of the box, right along the top, you'll see all the features that come on this car. And right below that, you'll see all the optional accessories that you can get for the car. On the end of the box, we can see what type of car's inside the box. Here we have the Toyota Soarer JZ3 in the metallic blue with the white rims. Now we can lift the top of the box off. Right on top of the box, we have the MST brochure. Definitely worth taking a look at. So if we open that up, it'll show you all the optional accessories you can put on your car. This page here will show you the different shock mounting locations, whether you're using a long battery or a short battery, how to mount that, the different steering setups. And on the back page, it'll show you that you can mount your motor either down low or up high, or maybe even at the rear of the car. This is the LSD card for your gyro, and it basically describes you have 3 different modes to choose from: standard, short course, or long course. This is the LSD gyro booklet, and inside it'll have the instructions, show you how to set it up for the different modes. Next we have the RMX instruction booklet. And in that it has a toolkit, some stickers, and a tube for the antenna. Let's open this up. Black plastic tube for the antenna. Then we have the MST RMX sticker sheet. Toolkit. We have a foam piece of padding. We're going to cut this in half, and we're going to lay this in the battery tray. We have a lug wrench, we have 4 body mounting posts, we have another wrench to make adjustments to the chassis, we have Allen wrenches, and we have 4 red square blocks, and I believe these are for your brake calipers. An instruction sheet with the features and specifications of your brushless motor. We have another instruction sheet showing you how the electronics hook up, and at the bottom it shows you about the on-off switch on the chassis. Next we'll take a look at the instruction booklet. At the very top it shows you how all your electronics are hooked up, how to mount these foam pads in the chassis, how to slide your battery in and fasten it, Dean's connector plug, how to hook that up. At the very bottom it shows you how to mount the 4 mounting posts for your body. Something I think is pretty cool, it has a setup sheet with little tiny notes by everything for your caster, your camber, your steering setup, your shocks and shock springs. Below that we have a picture of the transmission, a gear ratio chart, and a tire compound chart. Now we can remove the body. That's wrapped in plastic. Body came in a nice metallic blue, has lots of detail to it. You can see the decals look exactly like headlights, and the grille up front. The body came pre-drilled. Some detail on the window. The rear window looks like it has lines going across to give you the look that it has a rear defroster and a rear wiper. Decal on the rear tail lights look realistic, and a rear muffler pipe. If we look underneath the body, we can see where they sprayed silver to give it that metallic look. They taped off the headlights at the factory, and they taped off the rear tail lights, and that's important because we will be using the light buckets and installing LED lights. The next piece we removed from the box will be the light bucket. an instruction booklet, and we have a decal sheet. And you may want to use these decals if you're using LED lighting. It looks like the light will shine better through these decals for the headlights. Also has decals for the license plate and the turn signals. In the plastic bag with the decals, it looks like you have some two-sided tape. You have two plastic pieces. It looks like they are license plates. And there's another small bag of body pins, rear view mirrors, and a rear spoiler. And decals for your rear view mirrors. This is the instruction sheet that came with the light bucket. Shows you how to trim the body, to remove the mask, install the decals, how to trim the light buckets. This is the light bucket that came with the car. It looks chrome or even silver. You'll take a pair of scissors or a knife and cut this out, one for each side and one for each side of the tail lights. Then you'll take the piece that you cut out and you'll glue it inside the body. And that'll give you a nice shiny look behind your headlight. The ready to run kit comes with the light bucket but does not come with the LED light kit. I'll be showing you how to install an LED light kit in this light bucket, and we'll be installing it in this car in a later video. But for now we can set this to the side, and we'll be using the body the way it comes with the decals over the headlights, and we'll be installing this on the car, but we'll do that later. Now we'll take a look down inside the box, and you will need to remove the tape laying over top of your transmitter. That is wrapped in the bubble wrap. We'll remove that. And we'll go over this in more detail in just a bit. Then we'll just need to remove the last two things. We'll remove this piece of cardboard, and we'll lift out the chassis. So next we're going to put the batteries in the transmitter. Now we'll take the transmitter, we'll flip it over. You'll see this door on the bottom with an arrow facing that way. We'll slide the door over. If we look down inside, there's no markings telling us which way to put the batteries. There's no markings on the door telling us which way to put the batteries. There's a spring on one end and a flat end on the other. So if we take our battery, we know that the flat part of the battery is going to go against the spring. Push one in like that. Next one will spring back against like that. Now the other one's going to be reverse, so the flat part will go in. And the next one, this end of the battery, which is the positive end of the battery, will face the flatter part of the connector. We have our batteries installed. Now we'll slide the battery door over, snap it into place. Before we install the battery, I already cut the foam piece in half that came with our instruction booklet. And we're going to install a piece right here on the chassis and right down here. This will provide a little padding for our battery. Next, you'll need to remove the two clips on the side holding the bracket. Slide off the battery bracket. Then we can slide the battery in the battery tray. And we'll put our bracket back on and the two clips. This is what it looks like with our full-size LiPo battery installed. We have the bracket in place, the clip securing the bracket. Now we're ready to connect the battery, and we'll connect that to the Dean's plug on the car. Well, we had the batteries in the transmitter, we have the battery in the car, so now we can read the instruction label. We can turn on the transmitter by sliding this switch right here toward the steering wheel. You'll hear the transmitter beep twice, and then you'll see a green LED light up. Now we can turn on the car. On the left-hand side of the car, there's a silver switch and a little rubber covering over top the switch. We're going to move the switch toward the front of the car. You'll hear the car beep twice. You'll see the front wheels twitch to the left and to the right. You'll hear a fan running too. That's normal. And now we're going to take the steering wheel on our transmitter, turn it all the way to the left, turn it all the way to the right, and now you're ready to use the car. It's very important when you turn on the car that you let the car sit flat on the ground. You'll see the front wheels twitch to the left and to the right, and that's the gyro resetting itself. Once that's done, then you can pick up the back of the car. If you move the back of the car around, you can see the front wheels moving. And that's just the gyro making the correction for the back end sliding around. This will make the car easy to drive through the corners. Now I'll go over all the functions of the transmitter. You have your power switch right here. To turn it on, you're going to slide that toward the steering wheel. We're going to turn on the car. Underneath your steering wheel, you have your throttle. Pulling it back will move it forward. Pushing it forward will give you brake. Pushing it forward again will give you reverse. There's two buttons right above the on-off switch. That's REV, and underneath that it has TH and ST. TH stands for throttle, ST stands for steering, and REV means that you can reverse the steering or the throttle. So right now when you turn the wheel to the left, your car will steer to the left, and when you turn it to the right, it'll steer to the right. If you hold down on the steering button, you'll hear it beep. Now when you turn the wheel to the left, you'll see the wheels turn to the right. When you turn to the right, the wheels will turn to the left. To go back to the way it was, just press and hold the ST button. Now when you turn to the left, wheels go to the left. When you turn to the right, the wheels go to the right. If you'd like to reverse the throttle, press and hold the button right underneath TH, that stands for throttle. On the right hand side of the steering wheel, you have your trim tab buttons and they have multiple functions. You have L- and R+. That'll adjust left to right. If you press on L-, the wheels will turn to the left. If you press on R+, they will turn to the right. You can center up your steering just by pressing on these trim tab buttons. Then you have forward plus and you have reverse minus. If you'd like to trim the forward, press on the forward button. If you'd like to trim up the reverse, press on the reverse button. At the very top it says trim-EPA. EPA stands for endpoint adjustment, and I'll show you what I mean. If we steer the wheel all the way to the left, you can hit the L-. You'll see the steering back off to the right. If you want to make sure that it steers all the way to the left, hit R+, and the beep will get longer. If you want to go all the way to the right, you hit L-. You'll see the wheels back off to the left. To ensure that they steer all the way to the right, you hit the R+. And again, the beep gets longer and our wheels are going all the way to the right. The endpoint adjustment works the same for the throttle. If you pull the throttle all the way back forward, you can hit the reverse minus and we'll hear the motor slow down. Now we don't have full throttle. If you want to go back to having full throttle, pull the trigger all the way back, hit the forward plus, you'll hear the motor wind all the way up. Now we have full throttle forward. You can do the same also for reverse. So if you move your trigger forward, you hit the reverse minus, you'll hear the motor slow down. If you want to make sure that you have full throttle in reverse, you hit the forward plus. The beep gets longer, and then you have full throttle in reverse. Now we have full throttle forward and full throttle in reverse. You also have a trim button right in the center. That's for channel 3, and we will not be using that. On the top of the transmitter, you have a steering rate trim tab button. And if you turn the wheel to the left, you'll notice how fast the wheels react. If you'd like to slow that down, move the button to the left. You hear a series of beeps. Now when you turn the wheel, you'll notice how slow the wheels turn. You can also put it somewhere in the middle by moving it to the right. Now your steering did slow down a little bit. It's not quite as fast as what it was. Or if you'd like to go back to the way it was, just move the button all the way over to the right. You'll hear a series of long beeps. Now you can turn the wheel to the left or the right and have a very fast, quick reacting steering. And on the top of the transmitter, we have an antenna. On the back of the transmitter, you'll see 4 tabs. This is nothing more than legs for when you lay down the transmitter. There's a couple reasons why I bought this car. It's supposed to be set up very well right out of the box. It's a rear engine car, rear wheel drive. Most importantly, if we take a look at the front end, turn the wheel to the left and turn it to the right, you can see how far the steering locks into place. That makes it easier for the car to recover when you're deep into a drift. Take a closer look at the car. The chassis is plastic. We have your servo, your ESC, or electronic speed controller, with a fan mounted on the top of it. We have the on-off switch mounted on the left-hand side. We have a brushless motor mounted in the lower position. You can also mount that in the upper position. We have a plastic spur gear and a metal gear on the motor. In the middle of the frame, mounted in the upward position, we have your gyro. We have a plastic bumper mounted at the back of the car. Transmission housing is plastic. The rear axles are some type of metal. The springs are metal. And it looks like the adjuster on the shocks is made of aluminum. The shocks are threaded. There's plenty of adjustments on the top of the shock and at the bottom. The body posts are replaceable, and there's plenty of adjustments on them. And we'll take a look at the right-hand side of the car. We'll see the receiver. Another look at the brushless motor, the wires and the connections. And you have a lot of different settings for your caster adjustment. And if we take a closer look up front, we can see all the adjustments you can make on the shocks and all the different holes for mounting the steering arms in different positions. At the front of the car, we have a real nice foam bumper. And if you look close inside at the wheel, when you spin the wheel, you'll see there's a disc brake in there that spins with the wheel, and there's also a caliper. You have independent suspension at the front of the car. There's independent suspension at the rear of the car. The differential is locked. When you turn the rear wheels, you'll see you have posi traction. The only change I made to this car was I put a rounded tire up on the front with a gold dot compound. The back tires are stock. Then we can slide the body over top of the chassis and get ready to go test it out. This car isn't fast. This is a drift-specific car. Your car will handle like this right out of the box. This is going to take a lot of practice. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel. We'll see you next time on the Oval RC.